In this video, we'll be taking a look at all today's NBA matchups, and I'll break them all down with free winning picks so you can bet smarter and win bigger. But first, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell so you get our picks the second they drop, because when the lines move, the early birds cash in. And if you want the full winning sport picks experience, head over to wspicks.com and check out our VIP packages, or grab a free consultation with one of our professional sports consultants for the sharpest edge you'll find anywhere. That's where the real plays live. We are your bookmaker's worst nightmare. These are the games we're hammering, the ones the books can't afford you to bet. This is Winning Sport Picks. The free picks are about to drop, and they're coming in hot. Brooklyn versus Philadelphia is a matchup where the number is doing more talking than the matchup itself, with Brooklyn catching 9.5 while Philadelphia is being priced like a runaway favorite despite recent inconsistencies. This is a classic divisional style NBA spot where familiarity keeps games tighter than expected, and Brooklyn's ability to hang around late makes this spread feel inflated. The total sitting at 218.5 also leans toward a controlled pace rather than a track meet, which helps the underdog cover window stay open longer. This pick is Brooklyn plus 9.5 and the under 218.5. Washington versus Charlotte sets up as a sneaky value spot, with Washington getting 6 on the road in a game that profiles closer than the market suggests. Charlotte has struggled to separate from teams in this range, and Washington's ability to score in spurts keeps backdoor potential alive well into the fourth quarter. The total at 233.5 feels a touch high, given how these teams slow late when possessions matter. This pick is Washington plus 6 and the under 233.5. Milwaukee versus Indiana is a game where the spread tells you everything, with Milwaukee laying 1 on the road in what is essentially a pick'em. This number suggests respect for Indiana's home court, but Milwaukee's experience in close games gives them the edge when this turns into a possession battle late. The total at 220 is high for a matchup that could tighten defensively in crunch time. This pick is Milwaukee -1 and the under 220. Toronto versus Miami is another spot where the dog is live, with Toronto getting 4.5 in a game that should stay competitive throughout. Miami tends to grind games down, and that style shortens margins and keeps spreads like this very playable. With the total sitting at 228.5, the pacing leans more toward a half-court game than a shootout. This pick is Toronto plus 4.5 and the under 228.5. New Orleans versus Cleveland gives us another inflated number, with New Orleans catching 9.5 against a Cleveland team that hasn't always justified this level of favoritism. The Pelicans' ability to score inside keeps them within striking distance, even if they trail most of the night, and the total at 237 suggests a scoring environment where points come easier than separation. This pick is New Orleans plus 9.5 and the over 237. Chicago versus Atlanta is a matchup where Chicago catching 4.5 stands out immediately, especially given how often these teams trade runs rather than pull away. Atlanta's pace creates volatility, but it also opens the door for late scoring swings that favor the underdog. The total at 253.5 is extremely high, and that number leaves little margin for inefficiency. This pick is Chicago plus 4.5 and the under 253.5. Denver versus Dallas is one of the tighter games on the board, with Dallas getting 7.5 at home in a matchup that rarely produces blowouts. Denver's ability to control tempo is real, but Dallas tends to rise in these spots and keep games competitive deep into the fourth. The total at 237 suggests a steady but not frantic pace. This pick is Dallas plus 7.5 and the under 237. New York versus Minnesota closes the slate, with the Knicks getting 6.5 against a Minnesota team that has been priced aggressively by the market. New York's physical style travels well and limits extended scoring runs, which is exactly what you want when taking points. The total at 224.5 aligns with a slower, grinded-out game script. This pick is New York plus 6.5 and the under 224.5. Now listen to me, those are the free picks, but the one game I am unloading on tonight, the game that's going to crush your bookie's soul, that's the VIP play of the day at WSPicks.com. This is the nuke, the hammer, the max bet, the one play I've circled, the game that will bury your bookmaker 6 feet under. When it hits, and it will, your bookie is going to need a doctor, a lawyer, and maybe even a priest. If you want to ride with me on the biggest bet of the day, get to WSPicks.com right now. Now let's run it back one time so there's no confusion on what we're locking in tonight. Brooklyn plus 9.5 and under 218.5. Washington plus 6 and under 233.5. Milwaukee minus 1 and under 220. Toronto plus 4.5 and under 228.5. New Orleans plus 9.5 and over 237. Chicago plus 4.5 and under 253.5. Dallas plus 7.5 and under 237, and New York plus 6.5 and under 224.5. This is Winning Sport Picks, where we don't just bet, we bury bookmakers. Smash that subscribe button, drop your favorite plays in the comments, and hammer that like button like you're hammering your bookie into the dirt. We're cashing, we're dominating, and tonight we're dancing on the grave of your bookmaker. Let's go!